Sisters of the SED, welcome to your very first virtual workshop. I hope everyone is enjoying his or her summer vacation or your summer classes if you're still in school. As you know, for the upcoming year, in order to take a fall or spring membership class, you must submit your membership education plan. While this may seem daunting and looming and a little scary, don't panic. This video is going to give you a bunch of information about what an MEP is, the do's and don'ts of an MEP, and what needs to be included to ensure that your MEP is passed come submission time. This may seem like a lot of information for one tiny workshop, but if taken step by step, take some notes, you'll be set up for a successful fall and spring membership class and be able to welcome in your new sisters of Tau Beta Sigma. First off, let's start with the basics. What's an MEP? A MEP stands for Membership Education Program. That is a living, breathing document, much like your Constitution, that contains all of the information of what your membership candidates are learning and activities, what they are completing. If you're an educator, think of it like lesson plans for the entire semester. And if you're not an educator, think about your syllabus you receive on the first day of classes. Your syllabus usually tells you what weeks you're learning what, and also what weeks or days assignments are due, very similar to your chapter's MEP. So you may be wondering, what all do I need to include in my MEP? Lesson plans, worksheets, activities? The answer is all of the above. Your MEP should include anything and everything your candidates do when completing their membership education process. Do your candidates complete a service project or recital throughout their process? What about a class fundraiser or song rehearsals? It should all be in there. MEPs not only contain all of the information about the sorority, your chapter, the district, but also about details about your recruitment week and any other activity that you do with your candidates. With all of this information that needs to be involved with your MEP, it may be difficult to find a starting point. However, you should start where it all begins, recruitment week. First, pick out 2 or 3 potential weeks that will hold all of your recruitment events. Make sure to list them so the district can see where in your calendar year you plan on holding your recruitment week. Remember, a full candidacy process is between 8 to 12 weeks, so it's important that you choose your potential recruitment dates that satisfy this education time. Next, you should define all potential recruitment events. If you know your chapter always holds a formal at the end of the week, list it. Let's say your chapter always holds an ice cream social event, but you may be switching it out this year with a different event for the semester. List both. This way, your recruitment events are already approved, so if you have to change one due to a conflict in venue or weather, you already have it approved. There are a couple important things to remember when choosing recruitment events and venues, however, so please make sure to take note as we go along. First off, you can only host recruitment events either on campus or off campus on a public venue. Places such as sisters' homes, apartments, or places that are considered private are a big no-no. If you are hosting an event or at a public venue, such as a park, you may only hold the event during the hours of operation. So let's say that park closes at 6, your recruitment event cannot take place after this time. Generally, the easiest option for hosting recruitment events is to hold them on your school's campus. Once you reserve a room, perhaps in your student center or your school of music, any of your approved ideas are good to go. If you have any difficulty finding places for recruitment or are not quite sure what is an appropriate recruitment event venue, make sure to reach out to your district VPM or any of your other district counselors and officers. We are happy to help and we're here. Congratulations, now you've got your recruitment week planned out. But now that you have that all planned out, now comes your lesson plans and informational tools. To begin, decide what your candidates will be learning on a week-by-week basis so that you can plan your lessons accordingly. For instance, in the first week, say you're going to teach your candidates all about the SED, the greatest place to be. From there, you would draft a lesson plan describing the material that the candidates will be learning. Any PowerPoints, videos, tests, or worksheets should all be included in the lesson plan so that we can see what your candidates are learning as well. Let's look at an example of what might be appropriate to put in a lesson plan. So say it's your first week of your membership education program. What are you going to teach? How about all these things about your home chapter? So you can include things like who your founding sisters are, when you were chartered, and who your big sister chapter is. You can also include things like who your main officers are, who all the active sisters are, and who your sponsor and director of bands is. Remember, you also need to include all the educational tools that you use throughout the lesson. For example, if I was teaching this lesson, I may include a fill-in-the-blank worksheet that they can use to fill out during the entirety of the lesson. I may include the PowerPoint that I am using to show, and I may also include a small quiz to test their knowledge from the week previous of all the things that they learned. Once you've written that first lesson plan, keep going. From here, you can continue to plan and write out any of the rest of your lesson plans accordingly, and make sure you don't miss any information that may be involved in your chapter's MEP. So now that you've got your recruitment week and all of your lesson plans planned out, what should you focus on now? Simple: activities and rituals. You should provide detailed descriptions of what each of your activities entail that your candidates participate in. For example, if your candidates are required to complete a service project during their candidacy process, tell us all about it. Are the candidates assigned this project, or do they come up with it on their own? Do they have to supply their own materials, or does the chapter do that for them? Does it have to be approved by the chapter or the DOB and sponsor? These are all the important things for us to know. If your candidate class also completes any other activities, such as a fundraiser or a recital, a probate, or any other activity, it must be listed in your MEP. If you do not list these activities as part of your MEP, your candidates cannot, and I repeat, cannot complete said activity, as it has not been approved, even if it's in something your chapter has been doing for years. Bottom line, if it's not in the MEP, it's a no-go. Now let's move on to rituals. The big question you're probably wondering is, do I have to describe the basic ritual of Tau Beta Sigma in my MEP? The answer is no. What we want to see from you is a basic idea of when you might hold your rituals. This will be just like what you did with your potential recruitment days. List a couple of dates for us to see when you plan on holding your rituals and where. That way we can make sure you're completing your rituals before the initiate deadline and in the proper setting. Now, I know some chapters out in the SED may have their own rituals that they have written, or recently written, or that have been in their chapters for generations. Unlike the basic ritual of TBS, you must provide a description of this ritual, along with the potential dates and materials used within this ritual. Since these rituals are not written into the National Ritual Book, we just want to make sure that they are within TBS guidelines, and they are appropriate. Again, if it's not in your MEP, it can't happen. As you have probably noticed by now, this is a lot of information. So where should you put it to turn it in so it can be approved? Best answer, a Google Drive folder. Google Drive allows you to store all of your information in one folder that can be shared to multiple sisters and to the counselors in the SED. Before your fall semester begins, you'll be able to submit your Google Drive folder on the TBS SED website at tbssed.kkytbsonline.com. There will be a link on the home page that you can submit your link to your MEP folder so that we'll have access to it. This is the only way your MEP will be able to be approved for your fall class. Keep an eye out for the date that the submission box opens and when it closes to ensure that your MEP is approved for the time fall recruitment comes around. I've got a few quick reminders for you before I finish out this workshop and you get to work on your MEP. Remember, your membership education process must be between 8 to 12 weeks. This is a national standard. Your MEP must be submitted before both fall and spring semesters to take a membership education class. Sometimes the only things that may change are dates, and that's okay. Sometimes, as you may need to adjust your information and worksheets, and that's okay too. Change is good, as again, this is a living, breathing document. If you plan on only taking a fall or a spring class, you only have to submit your MEP prior to the semester that you're actually taking the class. All activities, rituals, and lessons must be in this document. Don't forget recruitment week too. If it's not in the approved MEP, it's a no-go. Give yourself time. The MEP is a huge document. Don't try and put it together your MEP in all in one night, like you did your final project last semester. It won't work. Trust us. Ask for help. If you're struggling, ask for help. Feel free to reach out to your district VPM at the email below or any other officer or counselor. Their emails are located at the district website under their respective tab. Sadly, we've come to the end of our workshop. I hope this video has been an awesome resource for you as you start planning your MEP for fall and spring intake. We look forward to seeing your MEP and your potential members as the semesters come about. Remember to stay tuned for deadlines and other resources that may come out regarding your MEP. You never know what could be ahead. That's all for now. Lots of love to all my sisters in the SED, and remember, the SED is the best place to be.